Hey, what's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Atlanta season 4. Yes, season 4, the final season. The season finale time is flying by, and we are halfway through, guys. And this is episode 5 titled Work Ethic. One time I was going to be an extra on this TV show, but then they started asking me about social security numbers and taxes and being up there at 5 a.m. I know y'all ain't doing that with Taraji. And to be honest, guys, I still do not know what that means. But I want to let you know that this is going to be a spoiler-filled recap. I'm going to spoil this episode up, down, left, right, in, and out as if you've already seen it. That is your warning, and please subscribe to the channel and help me reach 50K subs. Now, this episode right here, Work Ethic, was it as good as the last episode? In my opinion, no. Now, there were some things that I did enjoy in this episode a lot. And we're going to talk about that reveal where we were not in Kansas anymore. The Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. Who was it? Who was Mr. Kirkwood Chocolate? And who does he relate to in real life? Those are some things that I did enjoy. But it's not anything that I just didn't like in this episode. It just wasn't as good as the last episode. I thought the last episode, Light Skinned Id, was the best of this season so far. Possibly one of the best episodes out of the whole show. And so this one, following that, it had large shoes to fill. However, it did focus on Van a lot, Miss Vanessa, who I have been asking about because I believe in this season, we only got her in the first episode, episode 1. Of course, yes, when she was with Ern and they was running into all the exes. I think it was titled, the whole, something Atlanta. I can't remember. It's the title of the show. But this episode was cool. And I will say, when we are getting Vanessa at the very beginning of this, as she is pulling up to Chocolate Studios, I don't know why, but as soon as I started to see the names of the movies, I immediately thought, okay, are they trying to play some type of knock on Tyler Perry? And just think of the names of the titles. They had No One Can Tell Me What to Do, Part 2, Unmoved, Broken Home, and One Small Happy Family. And as we were getting throughout this episode, as we was progressing through, Vanessa was going down the hallway behind the scenes in some of the production houses, they had the posters on the wall and she ain't crazy or I ain't crazy. It was just a lot of random, obscure, crazy titles that it seemed like they was making fun of Tyler Perry. I don't know, but you guys tell me. But was really silly was when they pulled up the security, the man was like, hey, can I check into your bag? Can I check into the child's backpack as well? That was dumb to me. That was just some of the worst security in the world. I mean, Vanessa was saying herself, okay, hey, is this really necessary? Is this a child? And he was like, well, people have snuck guns in. But if Vanessa wanted to sneak something in, she could have just had it in the car anywhere, in her pocket, in the glove box, under her seat, in the middle of the dash. I mean, anywhere in the car. And after he checked the bag, she could have took it out, whatever, the gun, the knife, the weapon, and put it in the bag, put it in the purse, and then proceeded on throughout the studio. But I don't know. That really didn't make sense to me right there. I was just like, okay, that's kind of crazy. But this is where we're kind of getting this KC chocolate, this Kirkwood chocolate, aka Tyler Perry. We're just gonna call him Tyler Perry because he is Tyler Perry in my opinion. But it also stood out to me that there was like, this is for the culture, by the culture. I got FUBU vibes, I got BET, and of course I got Tyler Perry. But man, was it embarrassing for Van when old, loud, obnoxious dude was like, I don't care, keep him there. Put him in the trunk if you got to. Put him in the trunk. She was trying her best to ignore him, and I will say she was fine as hell. Vanessa was fine as hell. Zazie, I'm finna say Lolly Beats. Zazie Beats was fine as hell in this episode. Very, very attractive woman. But she was trying to avoid old dude big time. Just like, oh, hey, my name is Denise. And then she gets called Vanessa right there. That's pretty embarrassing, but I'm glad that the guy did not take that to heart and get all sensitive and be like, oh yeah, you lied to me, and all that crap. That would have been horrible, and I wouldn't have liked that at all. And so, yeah, he just kind of let it go, and they proceeded to go back there in the back to do the makeup. And this was an interesting conversation that she was having with the makeup artist. It was a nice lifestyle that she was living. Just like, hey, I want to do this. I want to get experience. I wanted Lottie to see me kind of do things that I want. I don't know. Now, look, do what you got to do. And it just kind of seemed like she didn't have a plan. But hey, everybody's not built for some 9 to 5 or where you have to report in and check in. I mean, it doesn't matter. Do what you got to do. But it was just interesting because she kept looking at her daughter. And then I remember how season 3 ended. You know, it is very hard to raise a child. And I don't know, that kind of just seemed weird, just the lazy dazzle attitude, nonchalant attitude that she had when she was going back and forth with the makeup artist back there. But I don't know, I could be completely off with that. You guys let me know what you think. But what did y'all think about old dude Shamik? He came in, I kind of feel like he did that on purpose. Like he saw Lottie not Lottie, but he saw Vanessa go in there and was like, oh, okay, what's up? You know, hey, but I could be wrong in that. I could be wrong. I'm possibly just really thinking that way because of his bold approach at the back of his card at the end of the episode. But we'll get right there when we get to it. But y'all let me know what you think about Shanique because I'm very, very curious. But now we are on the set and Vanessa is in costume. She's doing her thing. She's acting, trying to get this job, trying to get this easy money as the makeup artist. Like, hey, I'm just kind of doing this right here to stack my money as well. And that's also just interesting is before I go there where we're in the sitcom, she says that she really didn't care for the job or the studio or the work or his productions, you know, but she's still there, you know, getting the money. And that's just interesting because sometimes a lot of people just assume that, you know, being an actor in Hollywood or whatever is just extremely glamorous and etc. But a lot of people don't feel that way. Some people do. Some people just kind of treat like, man, this is a job. I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to get out. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, do what you do, you know, be honest and all that. But I did find it interesting. But I would have been so embarrassed if my daughter just would have been like, shut up. But it ended up working. And then we started hearing Mr. Chocolate over the intercom. Now, I could have sworn that when I was watching the trailer for this and also the episode, I could have sworn that was Jaimin Hansu. If y'all don't know who it is, that's all the way back to Amistad, Let Us Free. And he's also one of the henchmen in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. The man he's in Never Back Down, the first one. He's been in a ton of things. Phenomenal actor in Hollywood. I just knew that was his voice. I knew it was. But it was just so funny that nobody knew who was really pulling the strings of Chocolate Studio. I mean, everybody was just kind of listening to this intercom, you know, but hey, Lottie got a job. And I don't know, how do y'all feel about child actors? I mean, I know I've met some parents who be like, I will never let my child be an actor because at a young age, because it ruins the child. And I've heard other parents say the otherwise, like, oh no, if an opportunity presents itself, I would jump on board with that. But the other actress that was there that had her daughter, she was trying to rub up on Vanessa, and I really found that was interesting because as soon as Vanessa walked in to the studio before they were interrupted by Mr. Loudmouth Obnoxious when she had to give the name of Denise, we saw this other young lady practicing with her daughter like, okay, take a little break and then come back and we're going to do it again. But she was now talking about, hey, I think me and you should stick together. You know, I know that Mr. Chocolate loves your daughter and he's probably writing a show right now. Vanessa's like, oh no, we really don't act like that. Well, hey, your daughter seems like she's having a good time. You know, but you should. And Vanessa was like, you should keep the show. And she was like, no, I understand. My daughter's not the right type. What did that mean to y'all? Did that mean because she's a dark black girl and, you know, only if you're a shade of blackness, you can only get certain parts and certain roles and all that stuff? What did that mean to y'all? I don't know. And she seemed kind of crazy. And also Vanessa did look a bit upset, like, oh, okay, this is really making me uncomfortable. But after they have this scene, you know, they try to get Lottie fitting. And this was really weird to me, to where it was this older lady in there talking to Vanessa. And she started bringing up scripture saying that, hey, are you a Christian? And Vanessa replied, no, I am spiritual. And she was like, oh, it's okay. Everybody's not perfect. That was rude to me. I don't know. You guys let me know what you thought. And Vanessa kind of turned up her way about it. But I even went back 2 or 3 times to listen to this, but it really did not make sense to me, saying that if you want to make it into the kingdom of heaven, you have to accept it like a child. And if you don't, you won't make it in. And she thought that meant that if you're not open to a kid's joy or something like that. I don't know. That kind of flew over my head. But then Vanessa was able to relate to it. Maybe, I don't know, because I'm not a parent. I'm not a woman and or mother, or I'm just confused and can't put stuff together. I don't know. But that really did not make sense to me. And so Maybe you guys can help me out with that in the comment section. I would appreciate that. But this was making me uncomfortable too. If I was in Vanessa's shoes, I would have been like, okay, where's my daughter? And she goes to the next set and just disappears. And I'm like, okay, what is this? Some type of Houdini magic set where there's trap doors? Like, this is crazy. And like, they actually did kidnap Vanessa's daughter, so to speak. And I'm glad that she put her foot down and was like, no, you need to take me to my daughter right now. This is not funny. I am not playing games. Like, where is my daughter? I want to find my daughter. And this conversation that they was having on the cart was very interesting as well. Just talking about, oh, you're upset right now, but you're not going to be thinking about this when your daughter wins the Oscar or the BET Awards. And Vanessa started to throw shade, saying, oh, the Black Awards. And then she replied, oh, so only the white ones matter? That one stung right there. And then Vanessa was like, you know what I mean. I understand both sides of this coin because, for one, we know the Oscars is the biggest and most recognized, but at the same time, it's not the end of the day. If you get accepted into the Oscars, great. If you don't, we should have the attitude of, okay, kick rocks, keep it moving. We have our own thing over here. But when Vanessa was singing, I would just know the white awards don't matter. But sometimes with the black shows, it feels like there is a dip of quality. And so that's possibly what she meant right there. But I was still just laughing my ass off when they was talking about, I don't even know why I let her do this. It's in the, they ain't gonna win no Oscar or no awards. In the script, somebody's eating a crack sandwich. And I died laughing, especially in the next scene where Vanessa is there and sees the crack sandwich and eats it. And on the set, I'm like, oh man, this crack sandwich is good. Cut, that was perfect. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. And so Vanessa is upset because she can't find her daughter and asks Mr. Chocolate, where is my daughter? And I love the way that she just stormed out of there, you know, upset, walking like a soldier. And I knew, I was just saying this a long time ago, wait a minute. If you're going to just take this woman's daughter, we need to pull out the knives. We need to pull out the guns. Like, take me to my, no, this is not right. I need to see my daughter now. So when the older lady pulled out the gun and shot the dude in the foot, I was like, this is perfect. I loved it. And it's just crazy, this maze that Vanessa had to go through to get up top. And this, I was getting all types of Wizard of Oz vibes right here. And I laughed my butt off when we turn around and it's Donald Glover acting stupid in the costume, you know, with his voice and all of that. But it was so weird. He playing on the piano. I swear I was getting Wizard of the Oz, Willy Wonka vibes, all of that. And like, I swear this had to be a knock on Tyler Perry. They had all those scripts on the table and just endless notes of paper like all over the place. And the episode is titled Work Ethic. And I do remember at one point in time, I think, Tyler Perry tweeted or posted something on social media, and he was like, I done wrote 20 or 30 scripts in like a weekend, work ethic. And yeah, and that's exactly what this episode is titled. So I guess that is the tie-in. I guess it is pretty obvious that this was some type of knock on Tyler Perry. And it's just like, man, you have all this control. The frustration that I hear from people is that he has all this control, power, and resources, but he does not put out the best content. He just kind of just throws it out there. And it's a machine that he just can't control because the dollars just keep on coming in. And some people call it the chitlin circuit. And that's really unfortunate, but it was really loopy for him to be like, I can do whatever I want. This is my child. I was like, whoa, they're going off the rails right here. But they had to be silly with him or she throwing grits on him and oh God, I am okay. It was just silly, but I was laughing. I'm going over there talking about, would you like a grit? I am immune to grits. I have been able to withstand it and grown in immunity. And at first he was okay, but then he started holding the towel and then talking about, hey, I'm bleeding. Can you call the ambulance? But I would have let my daughter do that show either 6 episodes, and the way he was monitoring her, that was just really weird. Like, you can't afford to feed your daughter. You're doing this, and you have this guy over here that's trying to get in your pants. And all that. It was weird. And that was also the first time that Mikey, I'm assuming, saw Miss. I don't even understand why she brought him up there. That I don't know. It just didn't really make sense to me. But she called him out talking about you make unrelated scripts and take advantage of the people that you think you're helping. I don't know if that's Tyler Perry right there, but you guys can give me your 2 cents on that. But I did find it very, very interesting. And also just the most interesting part, I mean, this may have been the best scene of the episode where she meets up with her daughter at the end. They go back home to their house and or apartment and just like, hey, I can't protect you all the time, and I just want you to be old enough to make decisions for yourself, that you're in control of your life. I'm paraphrasing. And I thought that was nice. Lottie wasn't really trying to hear it, but it was a nice tender moment. And she was like, "I'll love you and be there forever." And then the episode ends with her flipping the car back over. And it says, "Hey, let's have sex in the boiler room, Shamik." I don't know. Maybe he was just feeling her, or maybe he has that on the back of all of his cars and he's just playing the numbers game. You guys let me know what you think. But that is the episode right there, work ethic. What did you think? It was cool, but I don't know. I mean, these episodes, sometime of Atlanta, you got to watch it 4, 5, 6 times to get all the meaning. And apparently I didn't this time because just some things just flew over my head, but I was entertained. I did laugh, and I'm eager to see what episode 6 brings us. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like this video, please subscribe. And these are just some of the things you're going to get on my channel. I just posted my Werewolf by Night review that is going to be on Disney Plus tomorrow. I also have my latest episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, where Daredevil pops up. Spoiler movie reviews, series reviews, a weekly movie news roundup show, interviews, Atlanta, which we're talking now, She-Hulk, Disney Plus, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, and also Rings of Power. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.